There's going to be a tipping point where everybody's going along with it, and then it's just going to tip over and fall over. And I think we see that happening.
From the Daily Mail, woke Disney admits misalignment between its movies and what viewers want is harming its bottom line after progressive Snow White reboot was pushed back for huge overhaul. I love the financial, legal, academic way of saying get woke, go broke.
Yeah, exactly.
We're misaligned. Okay, we have a phrase for that. Here's the gist of it. Disney has warned its investors that the company's products and political views may not align with what viewers want and risk harming its bottom line. In a public financial filing for the fiscal quarter ending in September, the corporation acknowledged the risks it is taking relating to misalignment with public and consumer tastes and preferences for entertainment. That's amazing.
I wonder how much of this is like really the Rachel Ziegler, the Snow White one, obviously not Daily Wire one, but the Disney one. I wonder if how much that really has to do, because it seems like people were willing to go along with it, and then it seemed like all of a sudden. But notice how I've been saying that's how it's going to happen. It's going to be there's going to be a tipping point where everybody's going along with it, and then it's just going to tip over and fall over. And I think we see that happening. Resting beach personality. Fair enough. Get wrecked. Hell yeah, it is happening, guys.
Disney has struggled as of late to successfully pitch its costly films to audiences, losing a reported $1 billion on its last 4 high-profile releases.
Damn.
And I don't know if I actually have, yes, I do have it pulled up, of course. Disney's Wish over Thanksgiving weekend was another major box office bomb.
Another Disney movie I just had no idea was coming out at all. Now, obviously, I'm not the main demographic for Disney movies, but it's Disney. It's Disney. How do you not, the idea that you could be an American who doesn't know about a Disney movie coming out, that would have been unheard of. Meltdown Media said they're remaking the Disney one to have the dwarves, but CGI. Go woke, go broke. Yep. Months 69 said it kept snowballing. They went further and further left. Yep. It had a the virtue signal aspect where the people who don't really care about these things, where they were talking it up, all the things they were doing, they're talking it up online. And so they have to, this becomes less and less true every day. But they have to realize that Twitter is not real life. And just because there's a bunch of people saying stuff on Twitter, that doesn't necessarily translate to who is going to pay money for this movie. It's not the same.
And I think everybody knows that movie's basically communist, right? Is that the general idea? Are you familiar with it, Jeremy?
Yeah. Basically, if there really was a God and if he was any good, he'd give us all everything we want.
Yeah, but only in this movie, it's a white man who has the power to grant everything you want and refuses. And
God, he's a white dude.
Yeah,
he's a white
the Sonic treatment. I mean that was good because I remember the original thing and it looked bad, and then I remember people being like, "Oh my God, you're making these people go back and do." I was like, I didn't design shit. I'm just giving you my opinion. And the Sonic movie did well. They have a second one now, right? So imagine if they never changed it and the Sonic movie didn't do well because of the design. Well, like I don't even remember why people were getting upset about that. Like we want to see you're animating it. These things are already animated. Just make it the same.
Dude, all right.
Yeah. It's a documentary.
Yeah. We're making
That's what it is.
Documentary.
Yeah. So the big news here is they pushed back Snow White, which shows not only are they admitting to their investors what we are doing is failing, they're taking corrective measures.
Well, obviously the entire sort of team reality right marshaled a lot of strength against, well, first with Bud Light, which I think is the greatest boycott that we've ever seen in the history of the right. I mean, we've never been very good at that sort of taking economic action.
Well, I mean, do you count the Boston Tea Party? Because I think that was a little bit more badass, but I'll give it to him.
Punitive economic action against anyone. And after Dylan Mulvaney, they laid the Bud Light low. But now with Disney, you saw the entire right wing really come out against them. And Daily Wire, I'm proud to say we took direct action. And on the 100th anniversary of Disney, back on October 16th, we announced the launch of our kids platform, Bent Key,
Yeah, shout out to Benke as well. They are just doing such a good job between these two gentlemen, Jeremy and Tim. They're doing so much to build culture. Tim has been saying create culture for years. But the fact that not only him, but Jeremy, the people are actually doing it. It's so good to see. Well, I'm saying I've been waiting for the day Disney finally admit the defeat of the agenda for years now. They could only lose money for so long until the investors finally came down on them. Praise capitalism. Hell yeah, brother. I mean, let's cheers. Dilly dilly to capitalism. Freedom.
Which is, of all the things we've ever built, this thing I'm the most proud of. We've got 18 series on there, 4 of them original, 2 of those Chip Chilla, our first animated series, and A Wonderful Day with Mabel McClay, I think are both genuinely wonderful shows. I'm very proud to have played a role in bringing them to life. But
if any of you guys who have kids, if you are Daily Wire Plus members, or if Bentkey is a different thing, I would love to know, if the and I would assume, but I would love to know if the kids programming is like the programming when we were kids, that it was for kids very obviously, but you could go back and watch it, or you could watch it with your parents or your older brother or your cousin or whatever, and they would humor you in watching, but they would still be entertained. Whereas today, if you go to watch your little cousin or your nephews, it's just loud, there's nothing to follow, like all that stuff. I would love to know what the actual quality of it is. Melton My Media says it's probably better than Coco Melon. Probably. Zibby says market competition is finally taking effect. Oh well, crony capitalism is better than socialist communism, at least. I mean, can't argue with that. Cannot argue with that.
We also announced that we were going to make our own live action adaptation of the Grimm's fairy tale Snow White, and we were doing that in particular because Rachel Ziegler had been the Disney's new Snow White, had been so outspokenly against Snow White, the film that made Disney into the powerhouse that it is, the 1937 animated film.
It was made in like 1937, and pretty evidently so.
And she said things like, we're not going to make a movie like that. That movie had all kinds of problems. We're not going to make a movie where the prince saves the princess or any of this stuff. What's beautiful about that, well, what's awful about it, obviously, is that she's saying that the actual company for whom she works, a company with the most brand loyalty of any company maybe in all of history, is somehow poorly founded, somehow had bad values.
Yeah,
she's far, far better of a person than Walt Disney was.
Yeah, right? What did he know? Walt Disney? Walt who?
But what's beautiful now is, if you look at what Disney's going to do with the film, you said it, almost less than 2 weeks later, they completely changed course on their adaptation. They are now going to make a more faithful adaptation, and Rachel Ziegler has to actually be in the movie that she hates.
I'm just imagining.
That's a great. I never even thought of that. That she's out here. Yeah, we're gonna do it a little bit better. Are you though? And then we had our running poll. Do you trust Jeremy Boring? And a solid 50% of you said yes, and we had 30% of you didn't even know who he was. So that is a pretty strong showing for Jeremy Boring. Thanks so much for watching, guys. If you enjoyed that clip, check out the full live stream link in the bio, and catch me live every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. See you there.